Hi there, welcome. This is Trillium from Trillium Healing Arts. I'm an emotion code, Reiki, and quantum healing hypnosis practitioner. And today I'm just going to be doing a little check in. Notice the face, no filter, no foundation. I'm turning 40 in less than 10 days on January 2nd. So yeah, I just said F it. A lot of girls have reached out to me, not a lot, but a few of my friends are like, what are you doing? What kind of procedures to keep you looking so good? I'm like, it's just a filter. And everybody uses it almost, you know, but I'm just going to let it hang. I don't want people to be developing complexes. I live in Orange County, which is a very heavy plastic surgery area. It's very affluent. There's a lot of money here. More power to them, but I don't want to shoot like poison in my face just so I won't have a few wrinkles. Like there's 70-year-olds that have less wrinkles in town than me. And I think, with social media, it's just giving people complexes. Anyway, sorry, end rant. Yes, this is me, good sleep, raw food, hydrate, um, you know, stay out of too much crazy sun, and I think you'll be good. But okay, so I'm just gonna do a little vlog about my experience. Um, Yesterday, I did a session for a local activist energy session, and before they came, so when we first started, they called me. I was so angry. I was like so annoyed. I was already tapping into their vibrational field over the phone. I'm like, ugh, I did it at my place and I really don't have too many people over here, but I already did a session earlier for someone who's been a long time client. My table's already up. I'm like, let's do it, table's up. And in my head, I'm like thinking, ugh, guys, their pee gets everywhere. Just all these like man hating thoughts. And I had to check myself. I'm like, why am I feeling this way? Okay, woo saw. And so what had happened was, this happens to me whenever someone has a lot of suppressed anger in their field. And so that's what I was picking up. And anger is usually the top layer. Anger is it's a top layer emotion. And usually when you get down to it, there's very deep emotions, usually sadness, grief, sorrow, heartache. But this time during the session, we went for a very long time. It just never ended. So the backstory is, this ocean conservationist spent 2 years trying to protect this beluga, and then the beluga, he thought the beluga was dead, and I think the beluga is still alive. But during that time, he just experienced such turmoil, anguish, and granted, this is the first time I've ever cleared this on anyone else, and it hadn't resonated with me with anyone else because it was so deeply suppressed in my system. So I traced this back. I asked my body, do I have any turmoil and anguish? And my body told me yes. It's from when I had a lover when I was in my teens that was an alcoholic. Their brother died, their girlfriend dumped them. They were just a mess. And to protect myself, I backed away. Um, they went down a dark spiral, didn't involve me, but ended up killing themselves. And I think I was already partially emotionally shut down. I think maybe I completely emotionally shut down at that point. That's the first time I remember myself crying. I cried for like 3 days straight. Anyway, so my body told me that this anguish and this turmoil was from the death of that person. And so this was resonant with the pain that my friend slash client experienced with the death turmoil of the beluga, or what they believed was the death turmoil. And so he had told me he had been shut off emotionally, like just like blunted. And this was because there was just so much emotions that his body shut down so that he could be able to function. We cleared heartache, sorrow, grief, so much shock, so much pain, and then the like very deep um, emotions of anguish and turmoil. And they were located. So I'm an emotional empath. I used to really think this was a curse. It's so annoying. It can be actually really beneficial. If I'm in love or I'm with someone that is exuding love, then I can share love energy and it feels like orgasmic. It feels like ecstasy. But if I'm around somebody with a lot of suppressed anger, all of my suppressed anger gets triggered and I become very angry. Or, it basically triggers a response in my body of whatever is being held in my field. And so I guess this was my new lesson to learn to uncover these feelings of anguish and turmoil. And I didn't know what they were. Usually I use a chart. When I started doing the emotion code, I had a chart of 60 emotions and I would isolate them using muscle testing or pendulum. But now I can just intuitively know because I can feel them in my body and then usually narrow it down between several different emotions till I get the correct one. But this was a first for me, and in my mind, I heard the words anguish and I heard the words turmoil, and my body tested positive and told me that's what it was. So I cleared it, and they were just such deep, intense, painful emotions. And this person has so many more emotions. I was just exhausted after like an hour and a half of just going into deep trance, clearing these emotions. At first, I had started using a magnet, and then I had to start projecting my energy body to do the clearings, and then just ended up, just doing the clearings with prayer. It was very exhausting doing this for like an hour and a half. And then afterwards, I have to use Archangel Michael to detach. And then after detaching, sometimes I still have residual emotions. And so I would just clear and neutralize them before, but I've actually started transmuting the negative emotions into my personal power. So sometimes I'll just do this for fun in general. Like if I'm out and about, I'll pick up any energy in the field and just transmute it into my power. Or if someone's sending me sexual thoughts, I used to get really uncomfortable. Now I'll just transmute it into my personal power. I read this book on, I don't even remember what it's called anymore, but the person that wrote the book talked about instead of just drawing on positive energy sources, you can draw on all energy sources from the entire atmosphere. So I thought that was interesting. That kind of, you know, triggered me utilizing this. And also, I had seen a binding spell. So whenever someone sends you negative energy, just flip it around. It's all energy, just different ends of the polarity, and using this energy to, transmute into your power and basically energize you. So I'm not shying away from anything anymore. I know that I can take control of the situation in whatever way I choose. So that's really beneficial. But it was just so interesting, my journey is continually evolving as I receive telepathic information, emotional information, intuitive hits, feel things in my body. And I guess I'm ready to unpack anguish and turmoil. So I've just been um, dealing with anger, dealing with sorrow, dealing with grief, dealing with shock. And then these are the very deeper, deep, 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 deep emotions. It's almost like excavating, layers and layers, like you're an archaeologist of all of your past trauma, etc. Anywho, that was really interesting. And um, they gifted me a book of some award-winning photography from their ocean conservationist, and just goes around and like hangs out with the whales and the dolphins. It's really cool. So my friend is actually going to help me sprinkle my landlady's ashes in the next couple of weeks. So I'm so grateful for that. Anyway, hope you had a wonderful and blessed day. Just checking in. Happy holidays. Love you so much. Bye.